Hey everybody, I hope you're staying safe and well. For this Tuesday's check-in, I wanted to give a little bit of information on the work that I will be doing this summer at Glenn through the Candler Advantage program. If you're not familiar with this program, it's a 10-week full-time internship for Candler students that are in their second year and going into their third year. And it's funded by Candler, and the main goal is to give students more intense information and experience in a parish or church community setting of their choice, which is really cool. To give more background on what I will be doing this summer, last summer, in addition to working at Glenn, I worked full-time at a nonprofit in Atlanta, and part of my focus there was creating curriculum and carrying out this curriculum that provided theological framework for social justice, particularly around the issues of homelessness in Atlanta. And I loved it. I loved my work there. I loved getting to do music stuff and using that as a method of healing and connection and worship. But I realized just how much I enjoyed working with young people, especially early undergrad students and high school seniors about to graduate. And so that is what I will be incorporating into the summer and into these further months as well. As many of y'all know, I worked with Reverend Brent this past year on the gathering, and I will continue to do that, which I've been really excited to do and continue to do. And part of what we've been thinking about this past year as well has been working with Reverend Blair as she has been cultivating this great young adult community at Glenn. And thinking about what it looks like to engage these young adults through worship at the gathering. So we'll continue to do that this summer as we transition into what the fall might look like. And then part of my focus with Candler Advantage work and onwards will be to look at what the role of the local church is in increasingly pluralistic contexts, such as college campuses that are becoming increasingly diverse in a variety of ways, but specifically focusing on religious diversity. We just had our centennial celebration at Glenn, as y'all know, in January. Glenn has been part of the Emory community for 100 years, which is wild. And of course, we can assume, and those of us who have been around for a long, long time can probably attest to the ways over those 100 years that the church has had to shift and morph and adjust how we react and how we respond and care for the Emory community. I think that changes over time, changes probably even year by year. So my work will focus on that. What is Glenn's role in engaging young adult students, young students at Emory, and how is worship responsive to the needs of the Emory community while also staying true to what we believe worship to be as the Glenn church community as well. What does it look like in 2020 to be the church, to engage with students, and especially students from an interfaith context. Emory started as a Methodist college, but we're seeing that it is, like I said, increasingly religiously diverse. And so how do we engage students that do not associate themselves with the Christian faith? How do we care for them and support them and not make it seem like we're just trying to reel them into a church and get the young people in the door? But we also don't want to be a completely absent on-campus presence either. So I think this logistically, for me, will look like continuing the liturgical and musical work that I have been doing with the gathering, planning worship and tailoring some elements of worship to the young adult community. I think it'll also look like building on the relationships that Reverend Blair and the Glenn community over the years has already established with Emory, and especially with the Office of Spiritual and Religious Life, engaging with them on how Glenn can partner with students. Lastly, I think as much as we can in the midst of a wild pandemic time period, engaging with students to see how we can better support them, how they feel like Glenn has already supported them, and trying to think of ways that Glenn can be a resource to college students, aside from the ways that we already are, aside from providing space for worship and community. So that's a little bit about this summer. I am really grateful to be with you all again, and grateful to Candler and the partnership that Emory and Glenn has to provide an opportunity for me to be doing this full-time work this summer. So I hope you all stay safe, stay well, stay home, take care of yourself, take care of others. And I hope you've enjoyed this weather today because it's really stinking nice. I think I'm gonna go for a walk soon. Be well, peace. We'll be together again soon.